Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We stand in a moment for our first hymn. Oh, sorry, that's for tomorrow. Dear friends, we're here today to remember and give thanks for the life of dear Annie. Well, that was last week. Seriously, Lady President, Maureen, thank you for your very kind invitation to along this evening and also to deliver the toast to the lassies. I read in my preparation that the toast to the lassies should be humorous and witty and entertaining. When I read that, I thought that Maureen had chosen the wrong person, because Church of Scotland ministers are not known for their wit, their humour, or their entertaining repartee. But tonight I'm going to stick to a well-known minister's Bible, and that is the 3-point sermon. So tonight there's going to be an introduction, there's going to be some light-hearted bits, and then there's going to be the serious bits. It's up to you to work out which bit belongs where. But before I start, I should say, ladies, that I looked around the room earlier and I couldn't help but notice that you've gone to a great deal of effort. You've spent a huge amount of time and no doubt a great deal of money getting the men ready tonight. So you've done really well and they look absolutely splendid. But as I thought about preparations, I thought that I would just use the sermon that I preached up at Alloway this very weekend last year. But then I realised that half of Alloway Church are here, so that wouldn't be a good idea either. So it was back to the drawing board. Being from Kilmarnock, however, and I should tell you this, that Jimmy Gibson was my teacher at school 20 years ago, when I was in secondary one. But being from Kilmarnock, I realised that there was only one place that I could start in my preparations for this evening, and that of course is the Kilmarnock edition. A collection of poetry by Burns, first printed by John Wilson of Kilmarnock on the 31st of July 1786. And as I read through the first edition, the Kilmarnock edition, it led me to think about what was the motivation behind Burns's poetry. What was it that led Burns to these poems and to these titles? So I decided to do some research on the internet, and I came across a wonderful website, and I'm assured it's a very kosher website. It's very accurate and explains the songs and poems penned by Burns. However, I wouldn't vouch for the reliability of the website. I'm sure it's true enough. So this evening, let me tell you about 3 of Burns's poems and how they became to be as they are. Firstly, Burns was on his way to Kilmarnock to meet with his friend Robert Muir. And as he got to Kilmarnock, he visited a hostelry or two and had a few drinks, and then he met up with his pal Robert. They had some more drinks, and Burns was getting a bit the worse for wear from his drinks, and in the corner he spied these 2 women, and he thought, I fancy those women, and I think they fancy me. So Burns went across to the 2 women, and they had a few more drinks together, and the women said to Burns, do you want to come home with us? And Burns, of course, said aye. And he went home with these 2 women, and he had his wicked way with them. And the very next morning, Burns wakened up. The alcohol had gone, and he sat up in the bed and looked at these 2 apparitions beside him. And what had been beautiful bells the night before were creatures from the Blue Lagoon. Burns went away into the corner and wrote the poem, The Twa Dogs. On another occasion, Burns was travelling to Mauchline, and he was going to meet up with his best friend, Gavin Hamilton. And Burns walked to Mauchline, and just as he entered Mauchline, he saw this beautiful young woman, lovely blonde hair, blue eyes. And he went up to her and he said, "What's your name, darling?" And she said, "My name's Grace." And he said, "I fancy you." And Grace said, "I fancy you too." So they went up close, and they had a wee bit of kiss and a cuddle, and maybe a wee bit more. And then Burns went for his dinner with his pal Gavin. And he had his dinner, and as he was walking home, he saw this beautiful woman, brunette, big lovely brown eyes. And he went up to her and he said, "What's your name?" And she said, "My name's Grace." He said, "I fancy you." And she said, "I fancy you." So they went up close, and they had a kiss and a cuddle and maybe a wee bit more. And Burns went home and he wrote another 2 poems. A Grace before dinner. And a Grace after dinner. And there was another occasion, Burns was walking home to Erlisland Farm in Dumfriesshire. And as he approached the farm, he looked across into the field and he saw in one of his neighbour's field, the farmer, out in the field. He had his wellies on, his jacket on and his hat, but he had no trousers. And Burns thought, that's a wee bit strange. That farmer's out in the field with no trousers. So he decided to go up to the farmhouse to tell his wife. So I approached the farmhouse and knocked on the door and he said, "Ellie, Jimmy's out there without any trousers on." And she said, "Ah well, he would do it last week without his scarf and he got a stiff neck." And Burns then went home and wrote another poem called "I'll Tell You a Tale of a Wife." It's clear from Burns's work that he had a great fondness and attraction to the women. And as Burns indeed was attracted to women, so men we are indeed also attracted to women. I'm sure you're here, some of you here tonight with the love of your lives. However, Burns struggled to understand women, and I struggled to understand my wife, to be fair. And I don't think there's any man that truly understands the mind of a woman. And if there is, can you please come up here and tell us all how the mind of a woman works? I believe that at some stage, all women are taken away to a special course. And at that course, they're taught some secret things about how to handle men. And one thing they're taught is, you'll no be. Okay? They're taught this. This is one way to handle men. You'll no be. And they're taught to use this quite frequently. For example, you'll no be having another drink, will you? Or they say, you'll no be having a pudding tonight for your tea, will you? Or, you'll no be golfing this weekend, will you? And I think the women are also taught in this course that men know the unknown. So, although they might seem thick at times, men know absolutely everything. And women use this quite often. My wife certainly does. Because you hear a knock at the door, and the woman says, "Who will that be then?" And of course the man should know, shouldn't he? Or the phone rings, and the woman says, "Who will that be?" But the man's supposed to know. Or the letter drops through the letterbox, and the woman says, "I wonder who that's from." But the man's supposed to know. And I think women secretly get taken away in this course, just to be taught how to handle men. On a serious note, however, it was clear that Burns was attracted to women, And unlike most of us men, Burns was able to express his emotion. My wife's always telling me, you're like a cardboard cutout. You need to express your emotion. And even Burns could do this at the age of 15. And he wrote some wonderful verse about perhaps 4 of the most loved women in his life. Nellie Kilpatrick, Jean Armour, Mary Campbell, and Nancy McElhouse, christened of course as Clarinda. So let's think about Nellie Kilpatrick. Burns met her in 1774 when he was aged 15. He worked in the farm at Mount Oliphant with Nellie. Nellie was his first love, and he dedicated a poem to her. Now, men, just think about this. Could you write poetry like this at 15, or indeed, could you write it just now? Let me just give you a couple of verses from Handsome Nell. Oh, once I loved a bonny lass, and I love her still. And whilst that virtue was my breast, I'll love my handsome Nell. As bonny lasses I hae seen in mony foo's braw, but for a modest, graceful mien, there's like I never saw. She dresses I sae clean and neat, both decent and genteel, and then there's something in her gait, gars ony dress look weel. A gaudy dress and gentle air may slightly touch her heart, but it's innocence and modesty that polishes the dart. 'Tis this in Nellie pleases me, 'tis this enchants my soul, for absolutely in my breast she reigns without control. Is that not just beautiful? I wish I could write something like that, and my wife would be chuffed to bits if I could write something like that as well. And then there was Jean Armour. Of course, he married Jean Armour, met her in 1784. It's 9 children, of which 3 survived, and her last child, Maxwell, born on the day of Rabbie's funeral. And Rabbie wrote these words about Jean. Of all the airs the wind can blow, I dearly like the west, for there's the bonny lassie lives, the lassie I love best. There's lilies grow and rivers row, and mony a hill between, but day and night my fancy's flight is ever way my Jean. I see her in the dewy flowers, I see her sweet and fair, I hear her in the tuneful birds, I hear her charm the air. There's no a bonny flower that springs by fountain shore green, there's no a bonny bird that sings, but reminds me, oh my Jean. He certainly was able to show his emotion, this man Burns. And then there's Mary Campbell. This one breaks my heart, I've got to say. Mary Campbell met her for attending church in Tarbolton. She was born in Dunoon, so he cried her his Highland Mary. But Mary died from typhus in Greenock in 1786, aged 23. And this is what Burns says about Mary. Ye banks and braes and streams around the castle Omond Gully. Green be your woods and fair your flowers, your waters never brumly. Their summer first and fall her robes, and there the largest tarry, for there I took the last farewell, O my sweet Highland Mary. How sweetly bloomed the gay green buck, how rich the hawthorns blossom, as underneath their fragrant shade I clasped her to my bosom. The golden hours and angels' wings flew o'er me and my dearie, for dear to me as light and life was my sweet Highland Mary. With mony a vow and locked embrace, our parting was full tender, and pledging aft to meet again, we tore ourselves asunder. But oh, fell death's untimely frost that knit my flowers so early, now greens the sod and calms the clay that wraps my Highland Mary. Oh, pale, pale now those rosy lips I after kissed sae fondly, and closed for aye the sparkling glance that dwelt on me sae kindly. And mouldering now in silent dust, that heart that loved me dearly, but still within my bosom's core shall live my Highland Mary. finally, we've got Nancy McElhose. He met Nancy in Edinburgh in 1787. There was a mutual attraction, but Nancy was a strict Calvinist, and she didn't want any dirt sticking to her, so they came up with this pseudonyms, Clarinda and Sylvander. But Nancy went away to Jamaica to reconcile with her estranged husband. And Burns writes this: Clarinda, mistress of my soul. Clarinda, mistress of my soul, the measured time is run. The wretch beneath the dreary pall so marks its latest sun. To what dark cave of frozen night shall poor Sylvander he, deprived of thee as life and light, the sun of all his joy? We parted but by these precious drops that fill thy lovely eyes. No other light shall guide my steps till thy bright beams arise. She, the fair sun of all her sex, has blessed my glorious day, and shall a glimmering planet fix my worship to its ray. So as I conclude then, perhaps we should try to be more at Burns. We should try to express our emotion to those that we love so dearly. And we can begin by thanking them for their company this evening and for looking so fantastic as they joined us. Gentlemen, can you please be upstanding as we toast the lasses? To the lasses.